Hello, Internet, and thank you very much for tuning into the Cloud Native FM podcast. You're watching Cloud Native Wisdom, a short video series dedicated to answer some of the newest trends, tools, technologies, or products which referencing quite been lately. And one of that product we are talking about today from the IBM company that's named HashiCorp. They quietly shifting from being primarily an infrastructure tooling vendor to positioning itself as a data substrate for intelligent infrastructure. And the company announced Project Infragraph, a real-time infrastructure knowledge graph designed to connect resources, applications, policies, and ownership metadata into a single curable control plane. And they promise give operator and AI system a high fidelity single view of infrastructure, so decision and when automation when so decision and even automated action can be contextual, safe, and auditable. But I have wonderful guest expert and my friend from Platform Engineering Panel Series and live stream partner Richard Simon with me, and this is his interesting topic for today. So Richard, tell us what is InfraGraph and what you think which of the gaps is actually trying to fill in.
Yeah, fantastic to be with you again. Project Infragraph, I think that's a code name according to HashiCorp. So that was announced at their recent HashiConf, their technical conference. And the idea, I think the way they've described Infragraph is that it's a system of record in sort of these enterprise architecture terms. So the opposite of that being a system of engagement. But Infragraph is supposed to be a system of records. So it's a single source of truth or single truth source for all your cloud infrastructure resources. So everything that you have in your cloud environment, it's multi-cloud, so it doesn't really care what your cloud is. It's kind of work in hybrid solutions as well. The idea is really that it's looking at and working on your infrastructure lifecycle management, your ILM and SLM, which is the software version of that. So that's kind of really the idea. We want to be able to, Infragraph, I think it was trying to really figure out what do you have in your cloud environment? What is running in your cloud environment? What kind of resources and services you have there? So before we kind of move forward with Infragraph, let me kind of take you back a little bit, because I think this is quite important to I think for the audience to understand how this idea where this idea kind of comes from. This is not novel. This has been going on for a long time. Back in the data center days, there was lots of these types of tools that actually did this kind of work for us. So ironically, when I worked at IBM, we had lots of these sort of ILM tools. And the idea was really for them to be able to provide a good inventory in terms of what you had in your data center. So this could be your hardware, your servers, could be your SANs, could be network switches, even the software and applications that were running were part of it. So IBM tools like Tivoli, Network Manager, Systems Director, those were all the kind of stuff I used to work on. And that inventory was really important. It was your single source of truth. It was your system of record in terms of what you are running in your data center, regardless of whether it was a UPS, an APC, whatever it was. We should be able to detect it. We should be able to communicate with it. And the minimum requirement was that we should be able to ping that particular device. We should be able to ping this IP address and know that it's alive and it's responding to the ping. So that was kind of the minimum that we could do. Obviously, you could go further with the inventory. So you could instrument the device, as we called it, which meant that you could find out more about it. So if it was a Cisco switch, we could find out which model of switch it was, which ports it had, how it was configured, and so on. And the idea with this was that we could then not just find out what we have, but we could go and actually influence all of that stuff by actually addressing it with things like updates, with things like patches, with configuration changes, and all sorts of things. So all our BIOSes, firmwares, and things like that, we could do thanks to this inventory that we had, because we were able to instrument all of these devices and resources and be able to talk to them and therefore address them as well using certain types of protocols. So everything from things like IPMI to SNMP to WMI and so on. These were all the protocols. Now, we've moved to the cloud since then. We've been doing cloud computing for the last 20 years, whatever, cloud native, open source, and so on. And we've apparently seemed to have lost this ability. Yes, there are certain tools that are out there. So we've got things like observability, automation tools, security tools, and so on. But none of them give us the full picture. They're all focused very much in their area of expertise. So automation tools care about the infrastructure. Observability is kind of more into the DevOps and the Kubernetes kind of environments that are being built, and applications and containers being dropped into production and so on. But none of them are giving us a full picture of everything that is in our cloud environment. And if they do, they're quite limited. So they maybe come from the hyperscalers themselves. So AWS provides one for AWS environments. Microsoft Azure does it for Azure, and so on. So none of them are actually kind of giving us a full picture and a multi-cloud picture. And indeed, whether we can actually extend this to hybrid cloud solutions, and potentially InfraGraph, will maybe do it for the data center as well, going forward. So your kind of private cloud environments and so on. So point being is that they're not really doing that. And again, we've had things like, sort of updates to these cloud tools. So now we're looking at things like data observability, the likes of Aviatrix, Thousand Eyes, do things like network monitoring. So they do all the networking capability. But like I said, none of them are giving us a full picture. So basically, it's a mess in the cloud, and we need to get that sorted out. Really, that's really, I suppose that's kind of nothing new for cloud native. We've kind of, suffered from this for some time. So I think HashiCorp is doing another shift left of a kind, if you like. But in this case, I think it's a good shift left. This is a positive shift left, in that we're actually going back to see how we can look at the cloud resources and be able to inventory these and instrument them. So InfraGraph will do this passively, I believe. So there shouldn't be any kind of management agents that are required for you to install, all around your cloud environment. It will definitely, serve the HashiCorp suite of tools, everything from Terraform, Vault, Nomad, and indeed extend itself to IBM and quite possibly to Red Hat eventually as well. The likes of Ansible and so on will also probably benefit from this going forward. It will use a graph database. So this prioritizes relationships between your data points. Unlike sort of, RDBMS, relational database management systems, which kind of give you the usual sort of table and so on, sort of representation of data, graph databases focus on the relationship between your data points. So that makes it kind of more focused in terms of how two data points relate to each other. So you could look at it, for example, as an application that's running in your cloud and the backend database that it uses. So the graph database can pick up that relationship between the application and the backend database. And that's kind of one of the relationships that it can represent in the graph database. So all of this information can be API'd into. So clearly and presumably third-party tools should also be able to make use of InfraGraph's capability as well. Now, obviously, this will set us up for the future because HashiCorp is very much keen on bringing in things like AI agents and having a kind of an agentic approach to this in the future. So our cloud infrastructure can be addressed with AI agents. So failures and configuration changes and problems and all that kind of stuff that we suffer from right now. And drifts and so on, configuration drifts and so on, we should be able to apply AI agents automatically to go and actually fix those. So as far as InfraGraph is concerned, for AI agents, it's the context that it's providing. Context is very important for LLMs, and therefore InfraGraph will be able to provide that. And I think this overall is a feature that is badly needed in cloud. I cannot believe that we've moved to the cloud and we do not have an inventory of that. Yes, we have it if we're in AWS. Yes, we have it if we're in Azure. But if we're multi-cloud or we have hybrid solutions, there's no visibility, and there's no open standard. There's no modernized version that AI and AI agents can make use of as well, and indeed third parties can make use of as well using API. And I think that is what hopefully InfraGraph will be providing. And actually, when you think about it, it's going to be quite unique in its capability and what it can do. So it will have no competition, I think, when it comes in. And although yes, we have lots of protocols, gRPC and all these other sort of stuff, in the cloud, they're not really being used for anything like this. So we need the app that will make this happen for us, and then hopefully not just HashiCorp can make use of it, but third-party tools can also make use of it. So I think this will be a winner for HashiCorp. It may go down actually their most valuable to being as their most valuable tool, not the most used tool, but certainly their most valuable tool. It's not going to be a bestseller because clearly you only need one copy of this per cloud environment, potentially. We still don't know kind of all the details yet because it's just in public beta, I believe, as we speak right now. But we'll see how things progress with it in the future. But I think this is badly needed, and it's something that will be extremely positive in terms of how we can see the relationships of all our cloud resources, be able to address them, and apply future stuff to them, things like AI agents as well, to remedy some of the issues that we have.
100% right, and we should be paying very closely attention to this news as well, and hopefully bring some of our guests from the HashiCorp to talk about this project as well, because what I see HashiCorp team in general, traditionally they add project in a synchronized way. So what I see, this is might be the tool who can synchronize all of the other tooling in general. That's because today, in terms of managing infrastructure as code, they have Terraform, secret for vault, access for the boundary, and run workload on many cloud. But those systems live as silos of configuration, telemetry, and policy, as rightly pointed by the Richard Simon. A unified graph turns that scattered state into a trusted data layer that HashiCorp and by extension by the HashiCorp cloud provider. So use one surface cross-cutting insight, drivers safe day two operation, enabler high value AI assisted automation, and that specifically tied to the HashiCorp control plane as well. So I think for the bottom line is the Project Infragraph isn't a catalog. It's intended to be a contextual fabric that lets you triage faster, enforce policies more precisely, and eventually run vetted agentic automation. So if you build platform, expect to see more features that connect Terraform, Vault, boundary, telemetry into a single model, and new guardrails that enable safe autonomous action as well. And also with IBM, they have Ansible in the playbook as well. So we will definitely see how this all the project project being utilized or being extended or being passing data in between InfraGraph. And as Richard rightly pointed, so we need some tool for multi-cloud, multi-region, or multi-tenant approach as well. So InfraGraph, we are looking very, very deeply on you. So make you can't turn away from us. Wherever you go, we will be following you. So with that, please let us know in the comment section. You are excited by this new product from the HashiCorp, or you just worried that you have another thing to manage on your toolbox. I hope not the case. But thank you very much for tuning into this channel. And before I let you go, remember there's a platform engineering panel series. Code to Culture is going through those channels, Cloud Native FM and Cloud Therapist, and make sure you can click the link on the description below, hit the bell icon because you get notified. Otherwise, there's nobody tell you that we are adding 6 episodes on platform engineering, and you will be learning this because we are having so much interest involved in it. So make sure you have a hit the bell icon